Welcome to Lifesaver Academy in Physician Hub. Today we're diving into that high-stakes, split-second reality of what to actually do when a bone breaks. Whether it's from a bad fall, a car accident, or just a rough sports injury, we all hope we're never in the situation, right? But honestly, being prepared changes absolutely everything. Let's get into it, because when you're suddenly faced with a pretty catastrophic injury, taking the right first steps is absolutely crucial to prevent further damage and to help us visualize this without things getting too gruesome. We'll be looking at some animated figures of humans. It's a great way to safely model what is otherwise a super intense, painful reality, letting us clearly grasp these medical steps without all the graphic distractions. Imagine you're suddenly the very first responder to a bad fracture at the park or out on a family hike. Be honest, would you actually know how to act in that split-second crisis? It is so incredibly easy to just let adrenaline take the wheel. But today we're going to replace that panic with a really solid, memorable game plan. Okay, let's break this whole thing down into four crucial parts. First, the crucial first seconds. Second, the essential steps to take. Third, the actions you absolutely must avoid. And finally, the ultimate takeaway. Section 1, the crucial for seconds. A broken bone happens in an absolute flash. So our initial assessment really needs to match that urgency. The clock starts the literal second the injury occurs. So the very first step, assess the injury. Just like an animated human clutching a broken forearm in a safety video, you need to look closely at the real-life victim. Visually check for any obvious deformity, sudden swelling, or really rapid bruising. And once you spot those red flags, you need to call for professional help and keep that limb completely still. And actually, speaking of professional help, the absolute most vital step you can take is calling 911 immediately. Dialing that number instantly shifts the burden off your shoulders and hands it over to a whole network of medical professionals who will be on their way to take over. Moving on to Section 2, essential steps to take. Now that we've triggered that emergency response and help is officially en route, we can take a breath, slow our pacing down just a bit, and really focus on stabilizing the patient right where they are. Here is a deeply counterintuitive medical directive that you absolutely need to remember. You must not move the bone. Instead, you have to support it exactly how you found it. Seriously, even if the angle looks incredibly uncomfortable or unnatural, attempting to quote fix it yourself is just a total recipe for disaster. To actually pull this off, just look around you. You really don't need a fancy medical kit to immobilize a limb. You can use everyday items. A rolled-up shirt, a sturdy stick off maybe even a necktie, just to gently keep that limb still. The goal here is simply securing the area above and below the fracture without squeezing it too tightly. Now, sometimes a fracture brings along an open wound. If there's blood, your immediate goal is to apply direct, gentle pressure with a clean cloth. But here is a super vital nuance for you. You can clean the area just slightly to see what's happening, but do not under any circumstances deeply cleanse or scrub it. You definitely don't want to accidentally push bacteria deeper into a wound that might be exposing bone.
And while you're busy managing the limb, don't forget about the whole person sitting right there. Trauma causes the body systems to just absolutely freak out. So we have to actively prevent shock, keep reassuring the patient, keep talking to them, and make sure they stay warm. Believe it or not, just draping a simple jacket over their shoulders can physically and psychologically stabilize them. All right, Section 3, actions you must avoid. Now we're pivoting to what I like to call the cardinal sins of first aid. This is where your totally natural, well-intentioned human instincts can actually end up causing severe, irreversible harm. Think about literally any action movie. Someone gets hurt and the hero swoops in, scoops them up, and dramatically carries them to safety. But in the real world, While your immediate urge might be to scoop someone up like that, the rigid medical rule is to never move the injured person unnecessarily. I mean, unless there is an immediate life-threatening danger right there, like a fire, you need to leave them exactly where they fell. Let's rapid fire through the 6 absolute no's you need to memorize to prevent making that physical trauma worse. Think of this as your ultimate do not do checklist. First and foremost, never play doctor by trying to realign or straighten a deformed limb yourself. Again, you aren't in a Hollywood movie snapping a shoulder back into place. Moving those jagged bone ends around that can literally sever nerves and slice straight through major blood vessels. Just don't do it. Next up, and this is a big one, when someone is hurting, we naturally want to rub this sore spot to make it feel better, right? It seems comforting, but never massage the injury area of a suspected break, and absolutely do not test the bone by applying weight to it just to see if it's really broken. Let me tell you, if it wasn't a full break before testing, it might just finish the job. Okay, now here is a hidden why that surprises a lot of people. Your injured friend might be practically begging for a sip of water, but you have to withhold food and water entirely. Why? Well, if that patient requires emergency surgery, the anesthesia team demands a completely empty stomach to prevent some really dangerous complications. So, offering that one innocent sip of water could literally delay a life-saving operation. Crazy, right? Finally, Section 4, the ultimate takeaway. Let's wrap up this explainer by zooming out for a second and just looking at the bigger picture of emergency response. When we really reflect on all these steps, the overwhelming theme here is restraint. The true hero in these critical high-stress seconds isn't the person who tries some dramatic action movie intervention. No, the real hero is the one who restrains their wild instincts, calls for professional help, and simply, calmly supports the patient exactly as they are. So I'll leave you with this final thought. The next time you witness a sudden injury and you hear that dreadful snap, are you prepared to fight your natural instinct? Will you be that calm anchor who holds the line, protects the injury from further harm, and just waits for the cavalry to arrive? Keep these vital rules in your back pocket, because one day they just might save a life.